A tremor moves through the unseen. It carries your name. Not a rumor, a revelation. The air itself shifts. Walls that once confined you fracture in silence. Something ancient recognizes its hour. The veil is lifting. They thought you were ordinary. They wrote you into their records as weak. But the seal upon you was never theirs to interpret. The seal was written in light. The seal was guarded by angels. The seal is now awakened. Every shadow trembles at the sound. Every hidden adversary feels the fracture. Their schemes collapse under weight of truth. Truth does not ask permission. Chosen one, the atmosphere bends because you stand. The ground remembers the mark of your survival. The heavens recall the vow spoken over you. Your silence was not absence. It was construction. It was alignment. Now the seal burns. Now the covenant speaks. Now the tremor announces your rise. The guardian stands, the seal holds. If this revelation finds you, write 77 below. Let the seal be confirmed. They studied you as if you were prey. Every tremor in your voice, every hesitation in your eyes. They measured your silence as surrender. They calculated your kindness as weakness. They mistook your patience for captivity. Their equation was wrong. What they called fragility was strategy. What they marked as delay was gestation. What they saw as collapse was recalibration. They believed you were predictable. They cataloged your wounds, your fears, your triggers. They built their playbook on the ruins of your old self. But they never accounted for resurrection. Resurrection changes all variables. The old arithmetic of control no longer functions. The tools designed for your brokenness break in their hands. Their lockpicks rattle uselessly against doors that no longer exist. What they misread as a permanent fracture became a hidden forge. Every pressure formed a seal. Every betrayal refined discernment. They were counting on a shadow. You became fire. And now their fear is the proof. The calculus of weakness has inverted. The one they underestimated has become the one they cannot approach. No trumpet announced your rebuilding. No crowd gathered to applaud the shift. You healed in silence. You rebuilt in shadow. You rose without spectacle. The quiet became your temple. While they rehearsed their strategies, you rewrote your foundations. While they rehearsed their lines, you burned the old script. While they searched for cracks, you sealed them with light. There were no witnesses to your reconstruction. No audience to measure your progress. Only the guardians knew. Healing without witnesses is the purest power. Because there is nothing to perform, nothing to prove, no applause to chase. You healed the part that begged for recognition. You healed the part that equated love with pain. You healed the part that believed fragments were enough. In the stillness, you became whole. In the unseen, you became untouchable. And now they look for the old patterns and find none. They reach for the old wounds and touch only stone. They wait for the old responses and meet silence. The silence is the proof. The new self needs no witness. Chosen one If this resonates in your spirit, anchor it. Write 77 in the comments and let the unseen temple recognize its builders. They came with lockpicks forged for the past. They came with words sharpened for the wounded self. They came with keys that once fit every door in your soul. But the house is rebuilt. The doors are sealed. The fortress stands. The old keys no longer turn. Their tactics collapse in their hands. The threats do not sting. The flattery does not bind. The guilt does not pierce. They push, but nothing yields. They shout, but nothing shakes. They knock, but no door opens. The fortress is not built of stone. It is built of discernment. Every boundary you laid became a wall. Every truth you spoke became a gate. Every silence you held became a watchtower. Now they face the reality they never calculated. The prey became sovereign. The hunted became guarded. The fortress needs no arrows. Its strength is its impenetrability. Let them rage outside the walls. Let them waste their breath at gates they can never breach. You owe them no entry. There is a law written before time, a covenant older than your wounds. When the chosen are threatened, guardians intervene. Angels do not negotiate. They enforce. While schemes were being whispered, wings moved in silence. While traps were being set, swords were already drawn. While plans were aimed at your downfall, seals of light were placed around you. You thought a door closed by accident. It was sealed by command. You thought a connection dissolved without reason. It was cut by a guardian's hand. Their interference is strategic. Not one move is wasted. They rerouted your steps when danger lurked. They blocked your path when poison waited. They whispered no when your own heart longed for yes. This is the Guardian Protocol. Unseen, precise, irrefutable. You are not surviving by luck. You are being preserved by decree. They cannot touch what is guarded. They cannot enter what is sealed. And the enemy knows. They feel the walls they cannot climb. They sense the eyes they cannot deceive. They tremble under the weight of unseen sentinels. There is a summit where vision becomes clear. Not the fog of reaction. Not the haze of rage. But the still air of mastery. Indifference is not weakness. It is the crown of discernment. When you stop feeding what drains you, it dies. When you stop answering what manipulates you, it collapses. When you stop needing what harms you, it vanishes. This is the apex of discernment. Silence as a fortress. Distance as a weapon. Calm as a declaration. They wanted anger. They needed reaction. They counted on pain as a bridge back into your life. You gave them nothing, and nothing became everything. Indifference is not apathy. It is sovereignty. It is the moment your peace no longer negotiates. It is the space where your spirit stands unbent, unprovoked, untouched. The watchers will misread it as coldness. The deceivers will call it arrogance. But in truth, it is the seal of freedom. Write 77 in the comments if you feel this freedom rising. Let your indifference be known not as a wall, but as your coronation. This is the apex This is your throne. Every plot carries a cost. Every scheme writes its own sentence. What was placed on your shoulders is now returning to its source. The burden is transferring. The weight is returning. You are not responsible for carrying what was never yours. You are not obliged to soothe the pain of those who caused your wounds. You are not the vessel for their consequences. This is the law of return. The load they built for you becomes their own. The trap they designed collapses beneath their feet. The pain they planted grows only in their garden. Closure is not an apology. Closure is your decision. You don't need their confession. You don't need their permission. You don't need their acknowledgement to walk free. While they stand in the fallout of their choices, you are walking toward gateways they cannot enter. New connections aligned with your healed self. New paths lit by revelation, not manipulation. New doors sealed with truth, not compromise. The old contract is void. The new chapter is sealed. If you feel this shift, declare it. Type 77 in the comments as a sign you have released the weight. Step lightly, because the ground ahead has been cleared for you, and the gateways waiting are built for who you are now, not who you were then. There comes a moment when the battle is no longer about enemies. It is about identity. Not what they see, but what you have become. You are clothed in light, and light cannot be erased. The schemes are finished. The shadows are broken. The watchers tremble because they know your threshold is sealed. Guard it well, not with fear, not with suspicion, but with sovereignty. Every threshold is holy. Every doorway carries weight. Not all who knock are meant to enter. Discernment is your armor. Truth is your sword. Light is your cloak. The future does not ask you to shrink. It demands you to stand radiant, unhidden, unafraid. The angels who intervened are still watching. The guardians who shielded you still remain. What you survived was not the end. It was the forging of your role. You are not prey. You are the keeper of thresholds, the revealer of truths, the bearer of light. If this word resonates in your spirit, leave 77 in the comments. Let it mark you as one who guards the gates of destiny. The final revelation is this: your power was never given by them, and it can never be taken.